Congratulations, you made it. We all survived another trip around the sun, which for most people means getting completely blackout drunk and reflecting on the year that was. For a lot of people, myself included, 2021 felt like an extension from the year before. 2020 was a lazy piece of standalone DLC that called itself a sequel. A lot of good and bad things happened in my personal life last year, but I don't really want to look back on last year. Instead, I want to look forward to this year, specifically make some resolutions or goals for this channel, or at least adjacent to the channel, starting with the first one. My videos are bad, and that's okay because I think each video has improvements from the one before it. When I started this channel, I had legitimately zero idea what I was doing. Talking into a microphone was a completely alien experience, and that wasn't helped at all by my writing, which was very rusty and ill-equipped for speaking. I've written thousands of essays and only a few speeches, and that really shows. I've learned the hard way that what sounds good in your head or good on paper can sound really clunky when you say it out loud. On top of that, I had to learn how to record and store a bunch of footage, which required extra hardware and technical skills that I didn't have. But the biggest technical skill I lacked was in video, image, and audio editing. I'm still learning all these skills in real time, and it's fun, but it can be a daunting experience, especially because YouTube requires all of them to come together in a seamless way. If my writing was top-notch, but the video and audio were ass, my content would be ass. Likewise, I could have the flashiest visuals in the world, but if I don't say anything of substance, it would be a waste of the viewer's time to watch the video. Some have put me into the video essayist column of YouTube, which I really don't mind. Some creators in that sphere are certainly big influences on me, but one of the differences that I see between me and some of them is that I see YouTube as a visual and audio experience, not just an audio one. And while I love some of these creators, their visual presentation can be lacking. This isn't a knock against any of them, but simply saying that I want to use my visuals to create flow and make the videos worth watching, not just worth listening to. I want to use all the tools at my disposal to make my videos with good flow and interesting visuals. Creating flow through writing is difficult, and it's a skill that it's going to take me more time to get down. And visually, while I can whip up a video faster than I could when I started, I still think that I could have tighter cuts, better edits, and smoother transitions. Lastly, there's the audio. I feel like I'm getting better at mixing my vocals with the music background, although I still want to mess around with some other music things in the future. I want to create a style of video that's uniquely mine. It'll take time to get there with both skill and vision, but I think it's coming along better than I thought it would. I also want to continue to work on my thumbnails. I think we've come quite a ways since this thumbnail, but it's still a skill that I'm working hard on. For the record, these are my two favorite thumbnails. The Disco Elysium one in particular I liked a lot because I did a lot of extra editing and a lot of extra brain work before I even started making the image. I wanted to have the main characters as ghosts because that's something that I think the game kind of touches on, how as we move forward we can kind of lose who we are and your old self can become dead, it can become a ghost. You probably can't even notice that I did that when the thumbnail is so small, but I like trying to add in small details like that while making the visuals appealing. Style, flow, and thumbnails are something that I really hope to improve on this year to bring them all together to create some content that's uniquely me. It's hard to not compare myself to people that have really found their style over years, but I'll continue to try and look at them as an inspiration instead of an unrealistic and demoralizing standard, looking at them as a beacon for what's possible but not a metric for what's expected.
I am the greatest.
My Top 100 series has been a lot of fun to produce. It's an excuse to play some of the games that people consider the best ever and learn more about the people, time, and place that they were made. I don't plan on stopping this series, and I hope to get out more than I did last year. But these videos have far and away the longest production time of any video that I do. There's a lot of research, which means a whole lot of reading. I try and find primary sources on this kind of stuff, which means going a little bit further than just Wikipedia. I've watched some other history videos on these games, which are clearly just reading the top of the wiki, and I'd rather not make content that way. I'd get the videos out a lot faster that way, but I also wouldn't provide any more value than you just going and reading the wiki yourself. As I've done this research, there's also other issues with wikis. I've found that sometimes these wikis can contradict actual primary sources that I've found, or they just fail to give any source for their information at all. There's a reason that your teacher said that Wikipedia isn't a reliable source of information. I'm essentially trying to apply academic research procedures to stupid videos about the plumber who jumps, but in the end, I think it's worth it. I want to understand these games on a deeper level, which means looking into how they were made, who made them, and the time period. I think that these contextual points are very important in understanding a game's historical significance, and it's also these contextual points that a wiki doesn't really cover at all. I like doing these deep dives and coming back to you guys with the interesting things that I find and my thoughts about the game itself, so I don't really foresee changing the way that the top 100 videos are made. I have changed some of my background philosophy on the list itself though. The list is more narrative in purpose to give me something to go through, acting more like a checklist than an ordered list. Up until now I've been numbering the games, but I don't think I'm going to do that moving forward. Instead, I'm just going to answer the question on if they deserve to be in the top 100 or they don't. I might do a top 5 at some point, but in the meantime, I'm not going to go through each game individually and look at where it belongs on the list in a numbered fashion. I just don't really want to have an argument with somebody about how Pokemon Puzzle League deserves spot 69 over Forza Horizon 5. That conversation seems like an extremely stupid argument, so I'm just trying to remove the possibility of something like that ever happening in the first place. Might do a top 5 at some point, but in the meantime, I'm not going to continue to order these games. Just a yes or no, is it deserving to be in a top 100 position? If you don't like it, I'm sorry, but also it's my list, so eat my ass.
Oh, gross. Anime. This is the time known as the Great Pirate Era.
So I started watching and reading One Piece halfway through last year. Yeah, that was a mistake. I've been liking it a lot and I want to get caught up by the end of this year. Will I make content about it? I don't know. Is it a stupid goal? Absolutely. But like a middle-aged man running a half marathon, it's not about the time on the board, it's about proving that I can do it.
Another one.
Most of my videos are very long. Believe it or not, I try to make them as short as possible without gutting core parts of the video, but sometimes there's a lot to say or discuss. On top of my longer videos, I want to make some shorter videos as well. I want to use these shorter videos to kind of play around with some other ideas that I have and to help bolster the amount of videos that I have. And I don't mean shorts, I just mean shorter videos. Minus my meme edits, I don't see any of my content making a good transition into ADHD TikTok fodder. I don't really want to pursue that either. When I mean short videos, I mean closer to like the 5 to 10 minute range, maybe even less than that, we'll see. These videos will be on smaller topics. I'm not going to try and compress a full history book into 4 minutes. This will be on something minor that I find cool that could be covered in a 5 to 10 minute time period. On the topic of topics,
what the f does that mean, Kobe Bryant?
I love video games, but sometimes I want to talk about other topics. My old CeeLo Green video was a lot of fun to produce, and I still look on that experience pretty fondly. I don't want to dilute my channel to have no direction, but I would like to experiment with some different topics and different ideas from time to time. I figure that right now would be the time to do that, considering I don't have any real expectations of me. I'm happy that all of you guys are here, but at the same time, it's not 100,000 of you, it's just a couple of you guys. So this would be a good time to experiment with my content. But by that same token, if that sounds like a completely terrible idea, I can make just a second channel that's not about video games. I've been going back and forth on how to do this, so let me know in the comments if you'd be okay with me posting some non-gaming stuff here occasionally. If not, I can make a second channel, it's not that big of a deal.
Stop cultivating and start harvesting.
This is a principle that I want to try with this channel. As of right now, I find myself paralyzing from decisions too often when I should just push forward and finish something. Every once in a while, I find myself overthinking analytics or if people really want to see the video or a big number of things. Things that ultimately I don't have the answer to and usually aren't very helpful for me to ponder that much about. And then I remember things like my Ultra Kill video, which is where most of you guys came from. That video was really just this game rules and I need to tell people about it. it kind of moment. I didn't put that much thought into whether or not it would do well or anything like that. I just made a video and then a lot of people have enjoyed it. I want to have more of that energy and less overthinking the content that I'm trying to make. I think it'll result in better quality and a faster production schedule. Majoring in the minors isn't always helpful, and I want to try and do less of it. As some fat cigar smoking dude once said, perfection is the enemy of progress. I want everything to be as close to perfect as possible, but at a certain point I just need to know when to call it a day and put the video out.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
This is what we in the industry call a bad goal. It's something that I don't have direct control over, and I don't really think it'll happen. Unrealistic expectations are just setting myself up for eventual disappointment. But hey, it's a dream, it's a goal, and I don't think it's necessarily impossible to hit. So that's my resolutions, my goals, my updates about this channel. Holidays had me pretty swamped. I wasn't really gaming, and when I wasn't recording it because it was with friends or family. I'm glad to be back into the swing of things. The Mario 3 video is underway for the people that want to see me finish the NES trilogy, but whether or not that video comes before a few other videos that I have in the pipeline, I don't know. I hope to put out more videos this year, and I hope they're of higher quality than anything I've done before. I want to continue to improve this channel, not really to get more views or whatever, but because it's a fun challenge, it's a fun goal, and it is fun to see you guys react to them. Did you guys make any goals or resolutions for the new year? How was your 2021? I know for a lot of people it was pretty shitty, but I'm curious how your guys' was. I know you guys are certified gamers, but would you be okay if I posted some non-gaming content from time to time? Like if you liked the video, dislike it if you want to hurt my feelings, sub to the channel if you want more garbage, and here's to making 2022 the best that it can be. I'll see you guys in the next one.
That's right, we're Japanese.